This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Solutions, the leading iGaming PAM platform with a modular approach, including many benefits like a fast, secure, and scalable API-based platform, integrated with all major third-party products and services. Make sure you head over to Pragmatic Solutions and join our smart thinking.
Hello there, Piret Ploom from Yolo Group.
Hi, Heidi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, especially having you here. It's amazing. Head of People and Culture. For how many people around the world?
Over 900 now.
And how many were you when you joined? And when did you, a couple of years ago you joined, yeah?
Yeah, I joined 2.5 years ago, and I think that we had like 400 back then, 400, 500, something around that. So we have been steadily growing, not steadily, pretty high growth during the past couple of years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the way we started this just before we called into the recording. We were comparing pictures of our cities where we actually sit. So you sit in Tallinn, I sit in Visby. We were comparing the skylines, and they are 99% the same.
Yeah, that's
cool.
surprising.
That's cool.
It is.
Very much so. So in these kind of medieval cities where we sit, we obviously made up our fantastic offices. And from when I look at pictures of your offices, they look absolutely smashing.
I agree.
Would you say that you guys, Yolo Group, Yolo Gaming, are you like recognized as one of the top employers in Tallinn, or how recognized are you in Tallinn?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I would say that within the past couple of years, we have been definitely working on our employer branding as such. And YOLO, the name itself, it's so like people remember it. It's so like catchy. So and overall, like as a company, then we are definitely well known. So when I'm looking back to last year, then for example, we have this job kind of like board here called Beach Bank, and then we were like top 3 employer last year there. And let's see when the surveys are coming out now this year, like how attractive employer we are then, and what's the kind of like place for us. But for sure we are one of the biggest employers, definitely, especially considering in the tech world and in iGaming in Tallinn especially. So yeah, it's been going pretty good for us.
How good for you that I started with that question. And that was not one of the things that we discussed. So it wasn't a predefined question. So no. Here you go, one of top 3 employers. What I want to pick your brain on, though, is your concept, dreams. Mm-hmm. How you make dreams coming true for your employees. Mm-hmm. And this I got from one of LinkedIn's kind of someone in your company were posting this on LinkedIn, and I go, I have to talk to Piret.
Yeah, so we came up with the streamers concept a bit more than a year ago when we were planning on having our first employer branding campaign. So back in 2021 in the summertime, we were known as Coin Gaming. And to be fair, then in Estonia, at least, we weren't known much. So we didn't have, and that was a deliberate decision, that we didn't have any like big posters outside, or we didn't do any big campaigns that what coin gaming is all about and why people should join us. But then when we went through the rebranding of the company in 2021 in September, when we rebranded from Coin Gaming to Yolo Group, then we also like thought that now this is the perfect opportunity to go out there with a big bang. And we had different ideas, like what should we go out with, or what should be the message, and how to actually show external people what it is that we're doing here, because it's not just only iGaming, it's so much more. It's like fintech and crypto and blockchain and investments and our own slot games and sponsoring Arsenal and all those crazy and cool things that we're doing. How to show it. And one thing for sure was that I wanted definitely to use our own people, because who are better to show what the culture is all about and what the company is all about than your own employees, right? So and initially we had some like different idea. Unfortunately, we didn't go out with that one. And then we used one local agency here in Estonia called the Pasco, and then we came up together with this dreamers kind of like idea that we want to pick out people from Yolo whose dreams, who bucket list items we want to fulfill. So this is like, and the kind of like idea behind of it was that in Yolo, we are making everyone's dreams come true. The dreams can be different. For some, it is that they want to work in an international company. For some, it is that they want to become head of people for a cool company in Estonia. For some, it might be that they want to go and visit Arsenal game because we're sponsoring Arsenal. So that's an option. So whether they are meeting their spouses in the company, or their best friends, or like buying their first apartment or home. So every day we are filling our employees' dreams. So that's where this kind of like whole idea came. And then we started to put these plans into motion. So
I'm going to try to sort of keep this all on the positive notes, because I think that this is really, really what's needed this year, because there's so much administration on HR from especially what I get this year in terms of career progression planning, workforce planning, succession, getting all the admin and strategies around things, while being in the middle of management and employees. So working with fun projects like this, or things that, is forgiving, giving, not taking or expecting. So I'm going to try to keep it on that light side, because that's what we need. But automatically comes up, all these questions on like, are there clawbacks? Is these the people that, are selected? Are they favorites? Or who are they? Key employees? Or, is this for everyone? Is it application? Like, what's the administration behind this?
Yeah.
Where do we start? Budgets. Right. Who gets to do the dreamers?
So how we did it was that we actually did a super random questionnaire among all Yoloers. So we said that we want to gather some information about like how people perceive Yolo, like what is the spirit animal of Yolo, what's their favorite moment. So we would gather together like information for employer branding purposes. And then in this questionnaire, we put on the question like, what's your bucket list item? And eventually, like when all those people, I think there were like over 200 or 300 people who responded across the globe. Then the agency was actually the external agency was actually the one who was like picking out the dreams that we can actually fill, because like there were like a bunch of different things like buying a house. So of course, like we cannot do that. We don't know like what type of house employee wants, and like what would be interesting also, like how we can be or support them in their journey, like what would be interesting to see, because the idea was to film their whole like progress around it. So we picked out the 6 people. They were like from totally different departments in different roles. We just like one obviously like requirement was that they still need to be here in Yolo. And what we did was that we sent out the questionnaire in August. And then we came back to the people in October. So everybody were like they forgot about it. Like, okay. And then when I contacted people, I just said that, hey, do you remember back in August you responded? I really liked your answers. So can you come in and we're going to record how you're going to say that, what's the Yolo spirit animal and your journey here and all of that. That would be for internal employer branding purpose, because our idea was to keep it as a secret and make it as a surprise. So we had to come up with some random idea. And what was especially cool was that we did, like, I think overall like 10 people in the company were aware of what it is that we're actually doing. So obviously those people whose dreams we were filling, then me plus one of my team member, even nobody else from my team knew what it is that I'm doing. And then obviously like the board was aware of it as well, and then our brand comms team. So it was like a small group of people, and we didn't. I even went to those people managers, just said that I need your people on this date that long, but I'm not going to tell you why. Just trust me on this. I just need them. And it's super cool that everybody just went on with it. And they were like also excited to know like, okay, what it is that you're doing. So, in October, mid-October, we gathered together. There was like filming crew from the agency, and then we just like went on with it. So it was like just random interview with the people, like, hey, like, where are you from? Who are you? And then bam, we revealed the surprise for them. And for every person, it was like a different type of setup. So answering your question, finally, it wasn't that there was like only key people or someone like favorites or anyone else. It was very, in that sense, random. And the side effect, obviously, like people when they finally found out about it, then they were like, okay, I should have put on like a bigger dream, or like why wasn't I chosen? But fortunately, like it was just like so. Everything like it was so genuine and nice and lovely, and the feedback has been like very, very positive. So I would say that there were no side effects or like no negatives around it, but the process itself, like obviously how to put it all together and everything, it was messy, it was hard, there were like a lot of failures and a lot of like delayed like things. So it wasn't a perfect and smooth at all in that sense. But the outcome is like just amazing.
Exactly. If the work is planned well, I mean, that's like, when we set up events, they turn out so well because there's so much planning and extra backup plans for everything. So good job. Yeah. And I like the neutrality as well. The agency picking out the people, not yourselves. What about budget, Piret?
Yeah, so the budgeting thing was actually pretty difficult to put together at first, because we didn't. When I first went to present the idea, then it was like also hard to say, because we didn't know whose dreams we're gonna fill, how much it's gonna cost, what the dreams will be about. So it was like the board really like. Trusted me with this, which I'm very grateful for. And it was like a very high pressure as well, because this was the first time we did anything around the employer branding. So like I really felt the kind of like need to prove that this is like actually necessary and it will be beneficial. And but talking about the numbers, then the budget eventually ended up being around 100K. So it was like a big investment. And it wasn't only about like doing the video and filling the dreams, but also like the external like and social media campaign that we used afterwards. So yeah, it ended up being a bit over 100K. So pretty big investment, especially if you haven't done anything, because previously our employer branding was zero. So 0 to 100K, it was like a big thing to do.
But are you gonna keep it up? Like, will the Dreamers concept continue living, or will you change?
Yeah, so absolutely, we keep the momentum. So even though the launch of the campaign was a year ago, we still are using the video, we still are using the concept, we're still talking about it. Even if new people are joining the company, then this is the video that we're showing during the onboarding, and just also like putting the emphasis that your dreams can come true in Yolo as well. Not maybe the skydiving part or but why not? Anything can happen here. So, but yeah, we keep the momentum, but it is in a different setup. So we're doing like bits and pieces of different type of like activities now regarding the employer branding. So it's not that we're gonna do every year. We're gonna do the picking up 5 people and then filling their dreams, because it's gonna lose its momentum finally. And that wasn't the idea. The idea is that what we do here every day helps to fill our dreams and helps to fill our customers' dreams and whoever, like our partners' dreams. So it's more about this kind of like metaphor, like general context around it.
And go out with a big bang in terms of the rebranding last year.
Yeah.
In 2021. You were saying, actually, Yolo Group. What does Yolo stand for? Do we know that?
You mean like what it is that we're doing, or YOLO, like this?
Is it like an abbreviation of something that
you only live once? So that was YOLO.
You only live once. Okay, yeah. Maybe I should have known that. All right, so that's one of the expressions.
Yeah,
there you go.
But it was like also like people. So what we're saying is also that it connects us so well, or it correlates with us so well. And it's not about that you only live once, go crazy and do like stupid stuff, but rather the opposite, that you only have one life. So take the most out of it, like fill your dreams, take the risks in a good way, obviously. Take the risk, go chase whatever you want to chase, and just like make it happen. So it is more about those different opportunities that life provides and that we actually provide here at Yolo as well.
Work for Yolo. Piret, I lost your camera. Let's see if it comes back.
I see everything.
Wondering, you see everything. Okay, then people can look at me. You were saying, what's Yolo's spiritual animal? This is not a very sort of business-focused question, but what is Yolo's spiritual animal?
Yeah, there are different animals that people have brought out, like unicorn, obviously, tiger, jaguar, like that we're like super fast, unicorn because we're doing things in a unique way, tiger because we are bold, we go after what we want. So yeah, there are like different spirit animals. Let's put it that way. But we haven't decided on one, so maybe this year we're gonna decide on it.
Exactly. Maybe there's the
yeah.
We get to know that. Your picture is back. That's amazing. If you got this, if you were selected, what would your dream be? What dream? What's on your bucket list to have realized?
That's a good question. I didn't even fill it. Obviously, I didn't fill it in because I knew what it's all about. My biggest dream has been or still is to provide like a bigger impact, or that whatever I'm doing is has like a high impact and creates value to the people around me. So this is kind of like my purpose. So, and I feel that I have been living my career dream for sure in Yolo. And actually in 2022, when we launched this teaser about the Dreamers campaign, then we launched it in our Yolo Gala. And then last year in January, I won the Rising Star Award as well. And my speech was also about that this has been my career dream, which I've been able to which I've been like living during the past 2.5 years. And from personal perspective, yeah, like those different experiences. So I think it changes also. Like you change, life changes, your dreams are changing. So kind of like a vague response from me, but I think it is more about like creating this bigger impact and having this meaningful life, living this meaningful life.
Can we talk a little bit about Yolo Group because you're saying it's fintech, it's gaming, it's crypto, it's block. Like, how is it working? Are there different cultures within the group, or is everyone working together as one big cozy family, or how's the split up looking?
Something that we're very, very proud of is that we do have so many different people from so many different nationalities working for us. So we have over 60 different nationalities working in Yolo. We are located in more than 8 different countries across the world. So this is what makes us definitely unique and different. And when we talk about the cultures, then obviously every team has its own culture. Every location has its own like culture, or like something that they're doing differently. But the core values or the core DNA across the whole 900 people that we have here is still the same. We are fun, we are fast, and we are fair. And this is something that we live by. And I think it's very amazing that although we have grown so fast and so much within the past couple of years, then the DNA, somehow we have managed to keep the DNA and the core culture in place. So it's something that we really, really live by, and something you can feel when you enter the building or whenever you're talking to someone who is from Yolo. Like there's something that unites us all. Even they might use different words, or like they might be from different cultures or different countries and from different teams. Then this DNA is something that really, really like defines us. And we have been able to keep it, which, as I said, and it's very, very amazing and good, because it's so easy to lose it when you're growing fast. Like you were like 30 like people, close knit family, and then you're like 900. Like how 900 like family members. It's a lot.
if we're going to make this like true, authentic, genuine, we need, everything you tell us now is, you're one of top 3 in Tallinn, all these Dreamers concept, you have a fantastic budget. You as, head of really have the true vocation for people. Everything is fantastic. What are challenges? Can we get some juicy, backsides?
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges. So I think that the key challenge always is and always will be like how to attract and retain people, right? And depending on what's going on in the world, like the challenges might just be different. So it's not definitely only like fun and games and everything is not super awesome all the time. So finding the right talent, let's start from there, especially when we look at like what is happening in the world. So majority of our people are in Estonia, so we are relocating people from different parts of the world. So, but now it is becoming more and more difficult because Russia is next to us. So, and considering all this, like the whole situation that is currently going on in Ukraine. So obviously it puts us in a more difficult situation. And overall, the location itself, like how we provide support to our employees who might be a bit afraid of that, or who even don't understand exactly like what the situation like means. For those who are in Estonia, it's like more, you grow up with it. You always like take this like into consideration, but how to calm your people, provide them the support. So this is definitely something that has changed within the past year, and this is that we have to like work on. So how to provide the safety net and safe environment for our people when the external world is as it is around us. And obviously, like,
What is the feedback? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is the feedback from the floor in terms of being neighbors to Russia? What are stress levels in the Tallinn office?
Mm-hmm. I would say that there isn't much of a stress. Obviously, like it was like last year, more stressful. But we are monitoring the situation. We are like keeping our people aware. We have plans in place how we're gonna support people. We are providing psychological support if someone like needs it, or like counseling, and just having those open discussions with people. And obviously, like our government is also like sharing updates. And one thing I want to definitely highlight is that Estonia is a safe country to be in. So there's no like threats. It's just like the media and the external like circumstances and everything. Obviously, it like increases the panic and makes people more worried. But we are still like in a very, very good place and safe. So there's nothing to be worried about. And doesn't matter even like wherever you are, then you always need to be ready that something might happen. Even in Estonia, we don't have like a big like thunderstorms or like hurricanes or anything else, but in some other locations we might have. So you always need to be aware of the external circumstances that might come, COVID again, or some other like disease or like whatever is happening. So just being more like prepared and making sure that people are aware of or know how to be prepared themselves as well when something unexpected happens.
And also I'm thinking, like, are people coming to the offices every day, or what's your thought on hybrids, remote?
So we are providing hybrid working model. Of course, flexibility is here to stay, but our people are mostly working from the office. So we like to have people together in the office, and like this is like where all the ideas are coming from, and it actually like is easier to cooperate between each other, share ideas, all of that. But some people are working permanently remotely from different locations across the world, and it's just like that you need to agree with your manager whatever works for your team best, and then apply it. But I'm actually like happy that our people are mostly here, and you can see them, and you can, especially as a head of people, you can then have the sense like how people are actually feeling, like what's going on in their like world, or like what are the challenges, like what's going well, what's not working that well, other than if everyone would be remote, then it is still possible, and you should obviously, like, we have people remotely that you have to connect with as well, but having this personal like contact, it makes things so much easier.
We were talking about the Dreamers concept before, and I'm starting to sort of crystallize what you're going to say as an answer. But in terms of where do you get your inspiration from, it's the people, or where does it come from?
Yeah, you know the answer. It's the people. It's the people around. Like with all those people that we have in Yolo, and as I mentioned already, then 60 different nationalities, people with different skill set and background, and they are so inspiring. Like it's amazing. And and in nature world, I think that we're like tend to forget that business is also the place where we can get actually inspiration from. So there are like a lot of things that we can actually apply that are used in the business or operational units that we can apply in HR. Even if we talk about employer branding, then just use the marketing team and their experience and how they are attracting the customers. So you can use the same principles when like I don't know, establishing or building up your employer like benefits program, then use the same approach as the teams are using in loyalty programs or like for the customers. So you can actually use those different ideas in HR world or for the people themselves as well.
It sounds really like HR was one of the cornerstones when setting up the business, instead of sort of, you know, when you're more than 50, 60, 70 people, you put in HR, and then it's perhaps already a little bit too late because it wasn't there from the beginning and hasn't been built around it. What about your team? What does it look like?
I have 17 members in my team, so we are pretty big, and we have different functions now, but a year back then I think we had like 8 members, so we have grown, like doubled the size. And it has been a very turbulent period for my team. So I think that when I first took on this head of people role 1.5 years ago, now almost 2 years ago, then kind of like needed to start from scratch, because the things that had brought us here weren't like working to bring us like to the next level. So basically, like been building up this team from, I wouldn't say from scratch, obviously there were already like people, but still like building the new kind of like blocks. So this is what I've been focusing on and working on, and I'm very happy that now finally we are in a place where we have all the functions in place and people in place, and everybody knows what they need to do, and we have been doing this catching up with all the growth, and we now have like the steady like processes, and not everywhere, obviously it's still like a work in progress, but we're getting there. And we just had our strategy day actually last week, where we came together and like focused on
what
strategy day.
Your strategy day. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
So what it is that we're going to focus now in this year, and it was so good to reflect that how big has been the change compared to 2021 when we first did the strategy day. Like how many people have joined the team, and now we have the functions in place, and that we can actually maybe focus on concrete things to make sure that we are like even delivering even more than we maybe used to do. So but you asked about the challenges. Then building up the team as such, it has been a challenge, and for me especially as well, like I didn't have any previous like experience as a manager. That was my first this has been my first like job in managerial role, so it has been definitely like very bumpy road with like a lot of learning points. And also like last year, as we were like growing so much and the business went through different like restructurings, then I was also like in a situation where I unfortunately had to let go some of my team members from because the team was too big to provide enough challenges for everybody, and the business direction changed. So this was definitely like very difficult and hard and emotional like situation and challenge for me. So as said, it's not it's never like only like fun and games and super nice. There are like a lot of things that don't always go according to the plan, or are not some things that you always enjoy doing.
makes you aware that you're alive. We were talking, but this is like previous, maybe months or a year ago, something like that, about how to have a strategy or an annual plan in place, but not to sort of live by it, because you have to be very flexible in terms of the motions of a company or a network like HR Connect. How is that? How do you find that balance, like staying sort of alert to changes and being adaptable, whereas you also kind of, what is it that I'm asking here? In terms of finding your own balance from expectations that you set for the year versus being flexible.
Well, I think it is that your own plans always need to be very closely aligned with what it is that the business wants to achieve. So and this is where to keep the focus. So whatever you're doing, or whenever you're switching the focus, then always ask first, okay, how is it that aligns with the business goals or our strategic pillars that we have set? So, and if it's not, then that's the question, should we change our strategic pillars, or should we not focus on it? It's easy to get lost with everyday activities, especially in HR, operational things and ideas, and then you want to go and do everything, but you can't. So this keeping the focus is very, very important. And definitely something that is very, very challenging. So I'm not going to say it here that, oh, we're doing it. So it's so easy. We're doing it perfectly. No, we are not, for sure. But every year we're learning, or every month we're learning something new. But this year, for example, we are using OKRs methods. So we have set our OKRs, and with OKRs, it's also easier to be more flexible, and obviously we're not setting the goals for the whole year, but it is quarterly basis. You know what's gonna come more, and you know the bigger things that you want to achieve, and make just sure that those bigger things, either it is I don't know, building up a new performance management framework, or doing a new training for the managers, it needs to align with the strategical pillars that the business has set. So this is the strategic pillars from the business. You're setting your own team goals. Then every function is setting their own goals, and then it goes back to the individuals. And everything needs to connect back to okay, where we are heading as a business, or are we doing some our own thing here?
Yeah, I mean that's a change management and lots of planning required in just launching that. How has that been received by the floor?
Very well. And I think key thing here is that you always need to involve people. So rather than me coming in and saying that, hey team, this is what we need to do now, these are the plans, and let's just go, it's not going to work. And this is not the way I want to do it either. So it is that they need to come up with it, because they are the experts in their field. They need to know, I can give them the bigger picture, but then they need to come up with how we're going to do it. And this is what they want to do. This is what they enjoy doing as well. So everybody is coming up with their own plans and ideas. Then we of course discuss them through, and I challenge, and I have to think through, okay, is it really important? Why is it important? For who? Is it for you, or is it for the whole team, or is it for the whole Yolo Group? So thinking about the impact again that your activity has. So, and I think that when the people are involved in the planning and in setting those OKRs, or whatever it is, that whatever metrics or whatever you're using, or goal setting system, then if they are then they are feeling the ownership. If they are coming up with the ideas, and they are being part of this whole process, and this is where not magic, but this is how it should be, and what works better, rather than someone else coming in and saying that just go. Then you don't get the ideas, and you don't get the ownership, and then that's how things usually go down.
Exactly, especially if it's built in such a way that the outcome in the end gets very transparent for everyone to see how my part actually played into the big mechanism.
Yeah, and this is what we all want, right? We want to understand how we can contribute. So what I'm doing daily, how it helps the business to be successful, or how everything is connected, because then you have the bigger kind of purpose, or sense of purpose, and you can get more excited. And what is very important, I think, and sometimes HR teams tend to forget this, that how you are actually influencing the customers. Customers are at the center of the universe, and it's so easy to say that, but I don't deal with customers. I'm not in the business. you are the business, you are dealing with the customers, not maybe directly, but on the background, everything that you do leads up to this moment when customer is entering or like starts using our products. And this is essential that that the team understands the products, understands the customer, and puts the customer at the center of the universe.
Become a customer as part of the onboarding.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm thinking like when you sort of share the results of all the goal settings that you've been doing, and here's the pot that goes to dreamers, and that it also becomes like a individual, tribute to the employees. Amazing. Piret, is there anything that I have not sort of asked you that you want to share?
I think that we have talked quite from different perspectives and from different things, and obviously there would be like a bunch of things to still discuss. But the key things I feel that I mentioned, that there are like definitely challenges around retention, around the attracting right people to join us. And make keeping the employees happy, which is like a constant struggle always. The competition, how fast iGaming is changing, and people need to come up with need to go along with those changes and all of that. So it definitely is a challenge. With all those 900 people, every person is a unique one. They have their own needs. You need to provide the personalized approach. It's not easy. And I also shared that for me personally, it has been a very bumpy ride, that coming from zero managerial experience, starting to build up the team. And now we have like 17 members, and also considering that Yolo is dealing with so many different areas. Like you have live studio, and then you have yacht, and then you have like tech people, and then you have like other support functions, and B2B and B2C and investments and all of that. So it's like a lot to learn and to understand like how the business works, and okay, how can I support? And then you have those different locations. So it's a lot. And from personal perspective, if you're like, I'm definitely the one who's like this perfectionist a bit, and want everything to be like in a super well manner done, and like only high results, and move faster and go and grab a new thing. Then how to find the balance, because otherwise you're gonna just burn out, or you're gonna burn your team out, or like and people around you. Exactly. So it has been but
you're saying this with a smile on your face, but how stressed are you? How would you say from 1 to 10?
Today I'm like 6.
I hope it's very low now when you talk to me.
Yeah but it's like obviously like there are days that I'm 10 probably, that it's like super stressful and super like anxious, and I'm only human myself. So it's I think it goes like this. And like stress is good. Like if it's this like good stress that keeps you going, keeps you like on the edge, like all the time, okay, like pushing. But and that's why it's important how to keep yourself balanced, is important to have fun. Because the minute you're going too serious, what I have discovered about myself, the minute you take things too seriously, and like it's all about like let's do things and only focusing on, okay, I have like this large to-do list that I need to do today, and like deep dive into it. And then it's easy to burn out. But if you're like finding the small moments to have fun, to have those random talks, or like I like to do like dancing sessions, or like planks in the team, or like just cracking a joke or whatever, then it reduces the stress, and you're enjoying what you're doing. And that's the key, how to survive in those in this like chaotic moments, and push forward, and not like break yourself down. But while it has been difficult and it has been stressful and frustrating at times, and sometimes I don't know like what I'm doing at all, then it has been so rewarding. I would not change anything, because it has been such a great learning and growing experience. And I think, I mean, like it's even right to say that I don't think that there's any other organization actually who would have provided me that type of like experience, like with all those areas and countries and the things that I have been able to do. And it's also because of the trust that I'm receiving from my manager, from our CEO Maria, and all the senior team and board that is supporting around it. It's so important, because as I said, I was total newbie. Like they just like, it's kind of like a blindfolded trust that the Mari put into me when she decided to offer the opportunity, and yeah. So it's I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Fantastic, Piret. I am very much hoping to see you in June when we can meet face to face.
Yes.
In Malta, or for the conference. The iGaming Next conference. Awesome. And then we continue our chats. And we do that online anyways via the HR Connect memberships and all. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate that you've been sharing so much like authentic intel from your company, but also, you know, come with some inspiration, you know, uplifting good stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure, and I hope that whoever listens to this podcast and will find something inspiring or helpful for themselves.